Well, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the NCCE 2025 First Timers Meeting. We are thrilled that you're joining us. What I'm sure will be a 20 minutes of delight on the NCCE conference. And before we get started, let's introduce ourselves. My name is Jason Neifer. I am the NCCE Tech Savvy Administrator in Residence and also the Executive Director of the Montana Digital Academy. Which is located on the beautiful University of Montana campus in Missoula, Montana. And joining me, the Robin to my Batman, or am I the Robin to your Batman? I'm not entirely sure, but good afternoon, Mr. Mike Augustinelli. How are you this afternoon, kind sir?
Oh, I am doing great. Thank you, Jason. And hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us for this First Timers meeting. As Jason said, my name is Mike Augustinelli. I'm the NCCE Tech Savvy Teacher in Residence, and Jason and I work together at the Montana Digital Academy. I'm the Assistant Director, so I do think that makes me Robin in this situation here, Jason.
Well, thank you, little friend. So
that's right.
We can go from there. So I do have one quick reminder before we get started. By the way, we blog at the NCCE Tech Savvy Teacher blog at ncce.org, and you can hang out with us on social media. The primary channel is both X or Twitter. It's Twitter at NCC_EdTech. And then also we'll talk a little bit later about Blue Sky. We're trying to have a more active presence there since a lot of teachers have moved there. But one quick thing I want to remind everyone about before we jump into things, and I think this is a really important, I think a literacy lesson for when you are around a bunch of other people that have 13 devices apiece, which happens to be NCCE, that please be very thoughtful about getting on conference wireless. If you don't need to put your 7 devices on, maybe limit it to 1. Try not to download a bunch of updates unless you absolutely need to. And also, it helps if you don't turn on your personal hotspots in the convention center, because as it turns out, that can sometimes lead to conflicts with the larger wireless. We do invest in Sirius Wireless for this conference every year. Sometimes there's bumps, but 9 times out of 10, if we can keep people to minimize the number of devices to the ones they just need to participate in the conference, it really does help. And maybe not the time to stream an HBO show during the conference itself. But with that reminder, we're here to talk about the Northwest Council for Computer Education 2025 conference in beautiful Seattle, Washington. And before we get started, I want to talk a little bit about NCCE as an organization. The Northwest Council for Computer Education is a professional learning organization, which means our goal is to help those in education better implement technology across the spectrum. And we have been around for over 50 years. We are the largest EdTech conference in the Pacific Northwest. But more importantly, we are a year-round community of learners. And what that means is that we offer an extraordinary variety of services beyond the conference itself. And I would encourage you to get to know the NCCE family at the conference in Seattle. Be sure that you learn more about the organization and help us help you integrate technology into the K-12 and higher education classrooms. We are very passionate about this work. We absolutely love working with really anyone in this particular space, and we strongly encourage you to strike up a conversation when you see an NCCE staff badge at the conference itself. And there will be a lot of folks there that know a lot about professional learning and the work that we do, and we encourage you to strike up a conversation and see what happens. I also want to speak briefly to social media at the conference. It seems like as of late that Blue Sky has become a huge deal in the teaching community. We have a presence on Blue Sky. You'll notice that we'll be keeping that up to date at the conference itself. But whatever your particular social media preference is, we would encourage you to post photographs, selfies, interesting things you found at the event, and tag them, hashtag NCCE25. NCCE25 is the official hashtag of the Northwest Council for Computer Education conference, and we would really encourage you to share your thoughts over social media. And while we're on the subject, I believe that Mike is going to talk a little bit about a way you can right now. Is it to you, Mike?
It is to me, Jason. Thank you, sir.
There you go.
You're all over it. So one of the fun things that I'm sure you've seen on social media is anytime folks attend a conference, they'll update their profile picture with where they're attending next. And so we have provided this beautiful NCCE badge for our 2025 conference. There's a short link to it here, ncce.link/NCCE25 badge. If you go to that link, you can download the I'm attending and update your profile picture on whatever preferred social media service you're on. And it's a fun way to show your colleagues, friends, and the entire world that you are going to be in Seattle with Jason and Mike in the end of February, the next week. So please add that to your profile. And then we will talk a little bit about some activities that are happening during the conference. And so the first thing up here is our general membership meeting. We do have every NCCE conference, there is a general membership meeting. This is an important time to hear from board members and to also get a sense of the direction NCCE is headed. This year, the general membership meeting is happening on Thursday from 3 to 3:50 in room 608. It's also important to know, as you see there, that just by attending the NCCE conference, you are automatically an NCCE member for the next year. I'll also make a plug for the blog. When you sign up for the NCCE conference, you are asked if you'd like to be emailed anytime Jason and I drop a fun little tech-savvy nugget on the blog. We hope you opt into that because we really are continuing to build this NCCE community throughout the year, and that's one of the great ways to be engaged and in the know with what's going on. So now, Jason, I think you have some information about our amazing keynotes this year at the conference.
Yes, I do, Mike. And it's really my pleasure to introduce both our opening and closing keynote. First, Dan Fitzpatrick, the AI educator, who is a best-selling author and also a very, very prolific strategist on AI and education, will be our opening keynote on Thursday morning at 9 a.m. And we're so excited to get Dan to participate in our conference this year. You may know him from his extraordinary work at both on social media and at learning events across the United States and Europe, for that matter. And we're really excited to welcome Dan to the keynote stage to start off our Thursday opening keynote. And we really like bringing folks into the conference that can speak to the issues of the day. And Mr. Fitzpatrick is very much created a lot of interesting thoughts about AI in education and how we can adapt and also utilize these amazing tools, ideally, to make education just that much better in service of our students and in service of learning. And then on Friday at 9 a.m. Is our closing keynote. Matt Miller, who is a very well-known speaker, an author of a number of books on educational technology, including the Ditch That Textbook series, and he will provide a very, very, very poignant message about the importance of teaching and learning in the modern era. And we couldn't be more excited to welcome these two amazing gentlemen to our keynote stage and hope they can provide some insights for you that you can take back beyond the individual sessions itself. I would also note that we rely a lot on our community to help identify amazing speakers for our keynote stage. After hearing from Dan and Matt this year, if you have others that you think might be an interesting keynote speaker for future conferences, please contact our staff. We'll be more than happy to take your suggestions, even if you would like to suggest yourself for featured sessions in the future. We want to make relationships with all the amazing educators across the United States and beyond so we can provide a top-notch experience for those that attend the conference in Seattle each year.
So one of the awesome things about the NCCE conference is the exhibit hall. It's always very vibrant, lots of energy, lots of cool opportunities to get your hands on exciting new tech, connect with most likely some vendors that your district are using, and really see where ed tech is headed. Also, pro tip for you teachers out there, it is a great way to get extra pencils and pens for your classroom. So visit those booths, listen to the spiel, get yourself hooked up with lots and pens of pencils for at least to get you through the next month, if not longer. So we've got the exhibit hall both Thursday and Friday. On Thursday, it runs from 10 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. The exhibit hall blitz starts at 10 a.m. and there's a couple different booths I'm going to highlight specifically, but as you can see on this first slide, one that we are really excited about is booth number 804, which is our esports booth this year. And there's going to be an opportunity if you're brand new to esports or never even really heard about it, or have heard about it, but kind of want to know more and even participate in an esport game, there's going to be an opportunity at this booth to do so. Jason and I are housed here at the University of Montana. We have a thriving esports team here at the University of Montana. And it is a really cool way to engage students in, a different medium than kind of those traditional sports that have been around high schools forever. I'm super excited to see all these high schools adopting esports, and would really encourage you to check it out, learn some more. That booth is specifically sponsored by Spectrum Industries. You'll want to make some time for that. Also on Thursday, as we get towards the end of the day, we've got a celebration at 4 p.m. in the exhibit hall, and there is a whole variety of fun coming your way. One of the things that I'm super excited NCCE is bringing back this year is a bit of a game through the first day of the conference. So there is a digital bingo adventure that Thursday, sponsored by Lolio Note School, at the prize session in the exhibit hall, starting again at 4:00 on Thursday. There's going to be some awards given for anyone that plays. There'll be more information, both at the NCCE help desk. I'm sure there'll be some additional information on the website, but also you can go to the source at booth 103 to sign up and learn how to play this digital bingo. I also wanted to mention at the actually, Jason, let's go back for one more, because I got hot off the presses. I'm going to give you all a little teaser of some of the prizes that are going to happen during the celebration. Hour and a half from 4 to about 5:30. You're going to want to stick around because there are some sweet prizes this year being given out at the exhibit hall. A couple are free registration to the 2026 NCCE conference. That's one thing. If you've ever heard of the Sphero Minis, there'll be a Sphero Mini given away. Some Lego education prizes. We've even got Amazon gift cards. There's a lot of good stuff here. So there may even be an iPad, it sounds like. So I would definitely set that to your schedule from 4 to 5:30 on that Thursday. And then the exhibit hall will stay open on Friday from 10 a.m. to 3. So then next, Jason, thanks. Super excited about this too. We've got an after hours opportunity. And what I'm so excited about, it's a private party with a ping pong theme. And you may not all know this about me, but my grandparents had a ping pong table in their basement. And ever since I've been an adult, I had a ping pong table in my house. I'm not saying I'm Forrest Gump good, but I'm pretty dang good. So I'm hoping you all join us at the after-hours party Thursday at Spin Seattle at 1511 6th Avenue. That's from 6:30 to 8:30. Sponsored by Advanced Classroom Technologies, Promethean, and Balance Box. And we're super appreciative of those sponsors sponsoring this opportunity. There'll be an open bar and food. It'll be a good time. And again, a chance to see my sweet skills. So I'm really looking forward to playing some Pong and hanging out with you all at that opportunity.
Well, I'll be there, Mike, just to see you dominate the ping pong table. So that's the major information we want to share today. But especially if you're a first-time attendee, I think it's helpful to talk about great strategies for a conference like this. And Mike and I talk about this every year. What was your first NCCE, Mike?
2001.
Yeah. And mine was 1998, if I remember correctly. And what's so interesting about this is NC's kind of grown with me. So 1998 would have represented it was either first or second year in teaching, and we had a federal grant at the time focused on technology, and young teacher Jason, much browner hair, much less gray hair at the time, was the kind of tech guy for the tech grant. And so they sent me to NCCE. And it was really the first professional trip I had been on. I traveled a little bit during college, but I went on an airplane, and it was kind of a big deal. And I was going from Helena, Montana, but it was very overwhelming at first because there was just so much interesting things going on. And I had some, I guess I'm going to say the word old timers in part because I think, Mike, you and I are the old timers now. So we'll wear that badge with pride.
Young at heart, though, Jason, young at heart.
Yeah, young at heart. That's exactly describes both of us. So the thing that I remember at the time was that you should jump into the conversations, right? What's wonderful about an opportunity to be around so many like-minded folks that want to talk about how technology can really be a game changer in teaching and learning in classrooms is that all viewpoints are part of the process. All experience levels are part of the process, and chances are, as a younger teacher, you bring in a fresh perspective, or if you're an older first-time attendee, you bring in a fresh perspective that I think is really valuable to the conference. And so be part of discussion tables. When you do breakout sessions, during the breakout sessions, be sure that you both listen to your neighbors, but also contribute your information there. I've always been a big a proponent of the rule of 2 feet, which is that if a session's not meeting your needs, get up and go to another one, right? It's okay to take control of your learning. It's okay to find, the voices that speak to you, that speak to your experience, that speak to your extraordinary background. But if you're not getting that in a room, go find one that does. And there is a huge diversity of interesting sessions aimed at all levels during this conference, but be sure you take control of those pieces.
Yeah, one of the things I wanted to mention too that I'm super excited NCC is doing, and something that for you new timers I would absolutely take advantage of if you get the opportunity is that there are multiple opportunities to get certified in different software at NCCE. So both, I believe, Wednesday and Thursday, there are Google certification opportunities. And Friday, all 3 days, there are opportunities to get different Google level 1 or level 2 certifications. I'll tell you, I know Jason and I both went through the Google certification process back in our teaching days, and it was super beneficial pedagogically at just helping us incorporate tech in our lessons, and I think well worth your time. I also wanted to mention that Certiport is going to be at NCCE this year, and they have a certification lab. Pretty inexpensive fee. I believe it's $15 to get certified in a whole variety of different tests, from Adobe products to Microsoft products. And it's just a real opportunity to get those done. Those Microsoft certifications, those Adobe certifications, if those are things that you're using in your classroom, your Microsoft district, for instance, definitely worth your time to take a look and plan that as part of your schedule. And that's my last tip, which is go on the NCCE website, ncce.org, go to the conference section of the website and look at the searchable program. As Jason mentioned, that first time at NCCE or any conference, it's a bit overwhelming, and you really do yourself a favor if you do some pre-planning ahead of time of getting yourself a game plan of the sessions, workshops, when you're going to spend time in the exhibit hall. Are you going to take some certifications? Get that planned out and sketch your schedule out. You don't have to necessarily stick to it, but it is very helpful if you get that mapped out ahead of time. So you have a game plan. So yeah, that's advice from us. Jason, any other tips that you got?
Yeah, I want to talk a little bit about the vendor floor for a second.
Please,
Mike
yeah.
actually gave one of the best tips, which is, grab swag, right? And
Yeah.
one of the secrets that you may not know is that the vendors don't want to take the swag back home with them, right? They're there to give away the swag, right? So don't be afraid to ask for an extra pen or extra sticky note, because they're willing to give that to you because they don't want to carry it back home with them. And it's especially true at the end of the conference. You can usually score bags of swag. Mike knows that I love a good notebook or sticky note. That's one of my favorite things. Despite being a tech guy, I love a good piece of paper, as it turns out. But also, a lot of the companies represented at NCCE aren't just looking for people to write checks. They're looking for people to partner with. And that's different than a traditional vendor relationship. And I know a ton of teachers in the state of Montana that have gone to NCCE, and their district may or may not be in a position to purchase right now, but they made a relationship with a vendor, and as it turns out, provide a really extraordinary experience to impact offerings, to beta test things, and then eventually perhaps then be poised to work with your district to bring those resources into your district as an ambassador or as a tester. And the vendors in NCC want to have those conversations with you. They like talking to teachers. They want to know what it's like. And if you are someone that does have some role in purchasing, of course, you'll make those relationships, trade business cards, get on email lists, meet with sales folks on the floor. A lot of vendors end up sending people that are leaders inside of their own companies that are doing the development. And so you can give your feedback. Especially visit those vendors that you already are working with. If your district, for example, it has a working relationship already with one of the vendors on the floor, tell them what you like about their product and give them suggestions on how they can make their product better. And that's one of the best parts, I think, about being at a conference, is that you get much more direct access than you otherwise would have in order to impact change, make relationships, and really have meaningful conversations with those that are providers in the ed tech space.
So I think one last thing for me to share, Jason, is of course we got to do a little shameless self-promotion here and talk a little bit about where Jason and I are going to be Thursday and Friday of the conference. So I'll plug Jason's session so he doesn't have to do it himself. But Jason is been a real leader in the state of Montana with all things AI, and he's just done a great job of presenting to school districts around our state and beyond. And I'm really excited to go to a few of his sessions, one on Thursday at 11 a.m. from idea to impact, how generative AI enhances teaching design. That is going to be awesome. And then Friday, Jason is leading an AI workshop for administrators, leading through extraordinary times, AI centrism for teacher leaders and administrators. If you've never heard Jason speak, it's a fun-filled hour for sure, and he'll keep you entertained. He's also pretty fun to present with, and so we've been doing a thing for, gosh, I don't know, it's over 10 years now.
Yeah.
Jason, you want to talk about what 30 and 50 is and why people should come?
Yeah. So every year, Mike and I, scour the ed techosphere to look for 30 tools that we can share in just 50 minutes. It's as much performance art than it is a professional learning, which is why I think we end up getting a pretty decent crowd at that conversation every year. But I will tell you that this year it's going to be a little AI enhanced. Is my little secret to share with you, is that we intend on sharing some of the little tricks we've been using in integrating AI and professional learning in our day jobs at Montana Digital Academy. And so please show up and listen to Mike and I make fools of ourselves. But I'm really excited about that. The other thing we're doing together is this is the first time we've done this outside the state of Montana, but Mike and I are doing the Tech Savvy Teacher AI workshop on Friday morning at 11 a.m. And it's a bring your own device workshop, which means that, bring a computer or a tablet with you, a phone, but still. But Mike and I are just going to share some of the basics about getting started in AI. And if you're looking for guidance from a couple of fellow teachers that have really spent a lot of time in the space over the last 2.5 years, we'd be happy to share with you some of the tips and tricks and the things that we've been doing inside of AI. Mike, who is also an extraordinary, awesome presenter as well, will be joint with me during that session, and also our 30 and 50 session. And then Mike is not doing a solo session, so I was just looking for that. He's not rolling solo this year, so I'm really excited about that. And it's just, we've made so many great connections with teachers across the Pacific Northwest and beyond as part of our experience in NCCE, and we just can't speak enough about how the camaraderie in the community means so much to both of us. And so we're really excited to see you all there and hopefully have some great hallway conversations and work together to talk about technology and how we can make classrooms really, really great.
I think we've said it all, Jason. I hope everybody travels safe to Seattle. Make sure you have all your devices charged and bring some extra power cords. Keep those charged. We're looking forward to hanging out, and it's going to be a wonderful NCCE. Appreciate you taking the time to check in with us here. We're really excited to have you join the NCCE family, all you first timers, and we'll see you in a week in Seattle.
Thanks all. Take care.
Take care, everybody.